Elias grew up with a very successful father who was a pristine merchant. His father owned 13 ships in the Salem harbor. His father was a wise man and always taught Derby if you work hard enough for something, you will always get it. Derby took this to heart and worked in his father's counting house as a bookkeeper up into the Revolutionary War. The war started in 1775, and he began to help out in the war by equipping ships for battle. Elias had equipped over 158 vessels, including his father's 13 ships. Derby's most successful privateer was the Grand Turk, who captured 17 ships and all their supplies, which greatly helped America. Before the war ended, Richard Derby, Elias's father, died of natural causes. With this, he left the merchant business in the hands of Elias and his brothers. Immediately following the war, coastal and international trade were depressed because trade stopped with Britain. Derby didn't let this stop him. He helped America get out of this trade depression by introducing trade with other countries, such as China and the East Indies. Derby's first ship sent overseas was the Grand Turk, which packed a large amount of dried fish, lumber, cotton, butter, beef, and much more. When the ship arrived in Cape Good Hope under the command of Jonathan Ingersoll, he managed to trade all of his goods on board. This voyage was so successful, making huge profit from this, Derby decided to send his ship back to Cape of Good Hope, but this voyage was unsuccessful. Derby's ship continued north until they found a French island named Mauritius, which had a high demand for American goods and turned out very successful. The captain Jonathan Ingersoll got word while he was on the island of Mauritius that another good place for trade was Canton, China. Derby got word of this and sent ship further west to China after it delivered its goods from Mauritius. The trade was so good with China that it continued for 3 years. They received many items like assorted teas, chinaware, and furniture. Over the 3 years of trade with China, the demand for Chinese goods decreased, and voyages were very expensive. As Derby got older, he stopped sending ships overseas, and later on gave his business away, and retired from being a merchant. With the money made over his lifetime, he was named the first millionaire of America, and had a house built pristinely known as Derby Mansion, which was a wedding gift for his wife Elizabeth Crowninshield. The house cost around $80,000 and was built under the plans of Samuel McIntyre. The house consisted of 3 floors, 3 bedrooms, a kitchen, and 2 dining rooms. The house was very unique with imported china and furniture. In the backyard of the house there was a very unique garden filled with plants from around the world that merchants would give to Derby. Derby only lived 2 short months in this house before dying on September 8, 1799. Derby will always be remembered in history as one of the most famous merchants in his trade across the world.